we're back for another back session today. I didn't think I was gonna record, but I like just edited the leg video this morning, and I was like, you know what, that was fun, so I'm gonna record again. But got a back session today. Honestly, I don't know how well it's gonna go because I pretty much slept I think 4.5 hours last night. I got into bed around like 11:30, and for some reason I just couldn't fall asleep. I think whenever I take pre, it just like really affects my ability to like fall asleep, and any little distraction will completely set me off. I'm not entirely upset though because I think I had like a epiphany or like a great idea about like what I want to do with my content, and maybe I'll get into a little bit of that later. But I was like thinking about that for like 4 hours straight last night and coming up with the plan, and we'll put that out of our mind for now and just focus on the back session at hand. So starting off with like a neutral grip row. Again, I always start off with uh, multiple sets of 30 for each day. So today, like the one that I'm doing is neutral grip cable row, 30 reps on each one, focusing like a little bit on the lats here is what my program SKU says. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Up one plate or one weight stack from last time what we did. Damn. Dude, honestly, my shoulders get tired faster than my actual back does on this. Which is pretty crazy. Solid though. I'll take the progression there because like last time, honestly, think of the lighter weight was harder than that one just now. So this is your sign that acute sleep deprivation doesn't really affect your performance that much in the gym and probably isn't going to affect muscle building. But chronic deprivation on the other hand, that means like you're consistently getting low, like not enough sleep. That's definitely going to have an effect. Unfortunately, my neck is still pretty messed up from yesterday's session, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's probably because honestly I just didn't sleep well. I've noticed that every time you have a really bad night of sleep, any muscular damage related stuff, whether it's like soreness or anything, it's just going to be like exacerbated not tenfold, but significantly. So I'm definitely feeling that today, and I'm hoping it's. My biggest concern is on the incline dumbbell rows that we're going to do. Uh, I think that might aggravate the neck a little bit, but we'll see. Um, Couple cues on a neutral grip row. Dude, I see people set up on the cable all the time, and bro, you're just like butchering the movement. Like they're taking like this. You'll see the people literally come back here, go like this, or like they're like going like this. It's just ridiculous. Like it's not like you're not working the muscle group there, but let's just say you're not being the most productive with what you could be doing. So, and the other thing is form standardization is very important in order to be able to actually track and see if your programming is working. If you can't track your progressive overload, which is increased weight or reps under the same conditions, everybody seems to miss that. If you're not able to track that, then you really can't tell if your programming is working or not, or if, again, you're just having form breakdown or something else is going on. So you want to like have as many tools dialed in as you can so that you can actually accurately assess your training. All right. Damn. It burns. Especially with high rep work, it gets really deep to think about like pulling it to you and using your whole like everything, like your biceps, getting a lot of elbow flexion. I'm really just trying to think about elbows. Like I think that's the number one cue, and I think the biggest reason that people have issues connecting to their back. And I mean, my back's not insane, but I would say it's probably a strong point in comparison to the rest of my physique for me. And I think it's because like I have a better ability to connect with driving the elbows. Because if you don't have a solid connection there, it's very easy for your body to resort to its natural tendencies and recruit a lot of other stuff, like get a bunch of bicep action in there and things like that. So I'm trying to keep these clips a little bit shorter because, dude, I mean, the last video is like, I think, an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm not, one, nobody's trying to watch that, and two, I'm not trying to go through and edit and have to clip out that much stuff. It's a massive waste of time. So overall, hopefully this one's like 30 to 40 minutes is like a sweet spot for a full training session with some tips. So yeah. Right, last set here before we move on. Again, this is like pump work stuff. So especially on this last set, the goal is to like feel that burn and also like work through it. So I'm saying like way too much. I think when I get towards the end, I'm just gonna try to slow the reps down and really squeeze. Come on. I'll take it. Dude, the high rep work, initially when I was starting, dude, I sucked ass at it. Like, okay, right now I have 42 on the stack. And I think when I started like a month ago doing high rep stuff on this, I was doing like 20, I think. So like I'm already double in weight. It's just because it's an adaptation that my body hasn't had yet. I haven't exposed myself to this kind of training ever. Even when I first started, when I started training in high school, I wasn't doing low reps necessarily, like 6 to 8. I was doing mostly like the typical bro, like 8 to 15 rep range stuff. I never did 20 rep sets or anything like that. Uh, so it's a completely different adaptation, and that's why it's normal for me to increase weight very rapidly. And now next time, like I'll add another stack onto this. Whereas in my typical heavier work, I would not be progressing that fast because it's an adaptation that my body has gone through a lot more and is more used to. All right, so the bench I was looking for got moved all the way to like the back corner of the gym, which is honestly beneficial because I can set the camera up and not have to bother anybody else. But essentially, just sitting up on a comfortable incline. The reason I like this one is because a lot of benches have stuff in the way at the bottom where it'll block the dumbbells when you're trying to go all the way down. So I like one that's like nice and high. You can get like stable and have your chest kind of planted on the tip of the bench and then just row. So start with the 25s. We got 3 sets. We do one set of 30, one set of 20, one set of 8. So start with the 25s. I did 25s last time, and my note was that the form needed to improve a little bit more. So we'll talk a little bit about that because in any row, you can bias different parts of the back based on how you do the movement. So I'd say the biggest things that are going to determine what you're biasing is going to be your arm path and also the cue that you're using, what's actually moving in your back. So let's say I wanted to do more of a lat bias row. Again, I'm keeping the elbows tighter to the body and I'm stopping right about where my torso is because that's where the lats are going to have best leverage. Whereas this, I'm doing it more as an upper back row, I'm going to think elbows a little bit wider. And I'm also thinking about retracting the scapula, which is different than if I'm just doing a normal lat row. The scapula is not moving as much as it is. Whereas here, it's almost like I'm initiating with a shrug. Again, like pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades and then bringing the arms out. So we'll hit the set of 30 with this. I'm feeling surprisingly good for having 2 nights of bad sleep in a row. All right. One. All right. That was definite improvement over last time. So we'll go up to like a 27.5 next time. Oh, another thing I wanted to say is somebody asked me why I always wear this exact same thing. I'm always wearing some form of like bodybuilding, like baggy pant, always an oversized shirt or a hoodie. And let me just say, the goal should be that your physique is the fit, really. Like your body should be able to exemplify whatever clothing you wear or convey whatever message you want. And this is coming from somebody who quite literally had closets full of Gymshark and Young LA, and I would buy clothes at like every single drop. I probably wasted several hundred, if not, I mean, easily over like $1,000, $2,000. And I ended up like literally either donating it or giving most of it away because I just don't ever wear it. There's so much overconsumption when it comes to clothing in this space; it's ridiculous. Not to mention the level of inflation that there's in the price. All right, this is like a Gildan 100% cotton shirt that I got off Amazon. I got maybe 5 of them for $15. Like that's like three. I mean, it might have been a little bit more, but it was no more than $5 a shirt. Whereas you could literally go to like Controlled Insanity, Gymshark. You're paying $50 to $60 for the exact same thing. That looks the exact same. It just has Gymshark on it. And to be honest, like, do you really? I don't know. I feel like it's at least when I was in college, like my freshman year. One, I was small. I was small wearing Gymshark, which is a problem. But two, I feel like there's like a certain stigma for people that are not in the lifting community when they see somebody wearing stuff like maybe not Young LA, but at least like Gymshark. You're like, oh, like this guy's kind of like douchey. And I don't know. I low key, I can kind of agree with it a little bit. So I don't know. Everybody has their own preferences, but I just think people waste way too much money on clothes, and it's just not that serious. Like you've been conditioned to think that way. So little bit of forebrain. It's still a good set, but form got a little touchy there. I still probably go up a little 2.5 next time, but it's something to pay attention to for next time. All right, last set, going for an 8 repper. Get a good little TikTok at it going. It's probably like 1, maybe 2 IR. I did 1 remote set on this already, and Low-key, it's feeling a lot heavier than I thought it was. I think for some reason this machine has a weird interaction when you add these little plates on. Just makes the weight like 10 times heavier. I don't know why. But I thought I would touch a little bit upon what I was thinking I'm gonna do. So like I've been wondering what I'm gonna post on TikTok. My goal right now is I want to post as much educational content as I can. I just want to create value, and I have this real dislike, and I understand why it happens, but I dislike how information gets gatekept in the bodybuilding industry. For example, all the great coaches and stuff will either have their own mentorship programs or they will create stuff like J3U, which again, like I understand why they have like a bunch of experience and information that they've learned over years, and it's only it's understandable that they would want to capitalize off of that and profit from it. So they sell either courses or certifications or ebooks and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm just of the opinion that coaching is definitely an essential part of bodybuilding, but it shouldn't be essential for the information. It should be essential for the aspects of the athlete mindset development. And also, let me say that a different way. There's like three main aspects that I think the real value of coaching lies in. One is the athlete mindset development. Two is having a second set of eyes, just because it's very difficult to make objective decisions about your journey when you're in a contest prep, especially when you're dieting. And the other one is just to, again, have somebody else take the reins for you or have a second set of eyes to look over things and make objective decisions. Though that is where the value is in coaching. In terms of how to run your own prep, how to diet, how to train, how to like optimize different things, how to troubleshoot different things in a prep. I think all this information should just be completely available for everybody, and anybody should be able to run their own prep, if they have to and don't have the financial means to hire a coach. So like what I want to do is learn. Like I've already learned the majority of this information myself. Like I think I could teach it to somebody. I just need to figure out how to put that into one and engaging, into a format that is actually digestible and people can understand. So that's kind of like my goal. I'm gonna set up like a studio to record at home, and I'm just gonna record like entire courses, like how these people record them, and then I'm just gonna post them on YouTube and clip them up and make little mini series on like TikTok and Instagram. And I don't know, I haven't seen anybody else do that, and I think it would be, again, like the goal is to provide value. Like what gets rewarded is creating value. So I don't know. That's what I was thinking about all yesterday. I need to do the set because, again, loitering. Damn, dude, my arms are gonna fall off, man. All right, so I did a little bit of an oopsie. On that set, I was only supposed to do 20, and I did 30. But you saw towards the end, I was like, dude, my arms are dying. That's because I thought I was supposed to do 30 when realistically it was a weight I was only supposed to be doing 20 with. And while I probably would have gone 20, like 20 would have been a more realistic weight. And because I thought I had to do 30, again, the form I was using probably wasn't the best for targeting the maximum amount of back that I could. So again, like I was starting to like involve some of the forearms and get a little biceps in there, which is why those started to fatigue towards the end. So it's not a big deal. I'll just like correct it for the next set and just do the weight I'm supposed to do, and then oh, you're good. You're good. You can go. Yeah. Um, yeah. not a super big deal. I still have 2 more sets, so again, I can just choose to be more mindful for the next ones and get the productive form I want. I also should have taken off my hat so that I can maintain like a stacked torso and not have to lean back as much because I was hitting the hat a little bit there. Definitely way better form on that one. Could arms barely felt anything, and all that tension was in the lats. I usually do these with a wider grip. Like I usually come all the way out here. That's how I've been doing for the longest time. But my coach currently has me prescribed just a little bit wider than shoulder width, so I'm kind of at where the bar bends. And one thing I'll say is, dude, if you hire a coach, just follow exactly what they say. Don't be the person that like goes to them and like argues and tries to say, oh, can I do this exercise? Can I do it this way? If you trusted somebody enough to invest your money in paying them, you should trust that they know what they're doing and that like they're the coach, you're not the coach. Just follow the plan. Now, obviously, if your coach has you doing dangerous things, either from like a training standpoint or uh, nutrition slash if you're on PEDs standpoint, then maybe there's a little bit of an argument to be made. But when it comes to just like simple stuff and like making decisions on what exercise to do, don't argue. Just stick to the plan. You hired them for a reason. Also, one more thing I'll say is like a lot of the times, dude, you don't know everything and you have so much to learn. And to be honest, I used to think I knew a good amount, but I think you reach a point where you realize there's just so much more to learn and so much more um, people's experience that you can absorb and factor into your training. So that's my goal with this process, just like learn everything I possibly can and try things out and see how they work. I feel like I made good progress in the last year. Um, my physique just like took a good amount of progress that I would not have expected, and I want to see what happens this year when I do an actual off season and I'm not dieting and incorporate a different style of training. If I can get similar results or if I don't get results, and regardless of which one it is, like I made a decision, I'm going to commit to it, and I think there's a lot of value in that. All right, last set, just going for 8 on this one. Still keeping the form good. I used to, okay, I'm on 140 and a little like tiny plate. I used to be at 240 and I was just like slaying in the weight room momentum. Like it didn't look really bad, honestly. I still have some videos of when I was training like that. The form was still pretty decent, way better than what most people do on this, but it wasn't strict. And if you can be stricter and still train with intensity, you should be, because then you don't have to do stuff like adding gym pins when it's unnecessary. And again, you haven't earned the need to do that yet. So. Probably had like 1 or 2 left there. That's like the perfect spot to be. I'm not supposed to be going to failure for any of my sets. there's definitely some exercise where I'll still just take them failure anyways, just because I'm only training a body part once a week for this 4 week phase. So I'm not super worried about the recovery fatigue demand because when I come back in a week, like I'm gonna be plenty fine. So it's not an issue. Took progressions across the board on the lat pull downs, and now we got the science based lifters' worst nightmare, which would be barbell rows. And honestly, here's my take on this: the benefit of a barbell row is it's like a difficult exercise to do heavy. It's hard on your entire body, and therefore also hard on your mind. And I think that is like the biggest benefit that this exercise has over other ones. Like, dude, I can go on any of those machines and do like a similar uh, exercise that targets similar muscles. It's like way easier. I used to be my whole like shtick. I would go tell people like, dude, there's no reason not to just be extremely jacked because working out is pathetically easy. Like I never feel challenged when I come to the gym, and that would be like my like flex on people that like not flex, but like kind of way of telling people that you have no reason not to train because it's the easiest thing in the world to get jacked. And to be honest, you definitely can train like that and make very good results and get a very good physique. So I still stand by that. But at the same time, I think if you're not challenging yourself at all and you don't feel like you're being pushed mentally, you're leaving gains on the table because motivation and your ability to drive and tap into higher levels of intensity is like a huge part of becoming a better athlete and a better bodybuilder. So that's the goal with these. And we've got 4 sets of 6. None of them are to failure, but they should get progressively harder. I usually will end up doing like 1 to 3 RAR on most of them. So some Takashi 6'9". One or two on that. Hopefully, hopefully it improves a little bit as we get through the sets. I only did one warm-up set, so it's slightly hard to keep form standardized on barbell rows just because there's so much room for movement of like the torso, the legs, everything to generate momentum and potentially help you with the lift. But again, this like obviously I'm trying to increase the weight every time, but again, I'm using this as an exercise to just push myself and really, again, more for the mental and whole body benefits than it is like very specific hypertrophy, all this kind of stuff that everybody's worried about. So different exercises for different purposes, and that's my current purpose with this one. So yeah, we can say that's 2RAR. We'll take it. I think that's progression. I mean, actually, I'm up in weight anyways on this one. Last time was doing 65 on each side. We got 70 on this side. Two, 2 AR first set, and I'll say 2 for the second set, and then we'll see how the last 2 go. Oh, TikTok edit. That's gotta go on. Come on. Maybe it was 2, but I'll just call it 1 anyways. Good set. Should be good to go up another 5 for next session. One thing I tell people is some people are able to build discipline in the gym because they like you have to be disciplined to go to the gym. Like there's days that you don't want to go and you have to go anyways. I've never had that issue in my life. not a single time. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I don't go to the gym. But that just doesn't happen for me. It's a normal part of my day. It feels weird not to train. It's just become a part of my life. And if I'm not training, just something feels wrong. So no matter what I'm doing, if I'm like traveling and don't have access to like a gym, like I have to do something. Like I have to do something physical. I also have like that mentality that like, oh, atrophy and everything. If I don't train, then my fibers are gonna atrophy, and I'm a little bit scared of that. Even though it's not that big of a deal and muscle memory is a thing, I just want to train. I just want to always be training. So we'll do one more set of this and then we'll call it. Actually, I have like 2 more exercises. Ooh, that's just... For some reason, that last set was literally 10 times easier than any of the rest of them. I wonder if my torso position was like a little bit different. I'll have to watch that back. But I might have to go up 10 next time because that was super easy. All right, second to last exercise here. Good old hammer strength row that everybody has in pretty much every gym. We do 2 sets on this of like around I think 10 to 12 reps, or maybe it's just 10 reps. I'll do 2 sets of this and then I'll do some face pulls for high reps, and then that'll be pretty much it for the back session. I think the session's only like lasted maybe an hour 15, and it'll probably last an hour 30. So it's way shorter than my back session. Way shorter than my leg session, which I'm thankful for because I can really only handle 1 3-hour workout a week. Well, actually, my arm workout ends up being 2.5. That one has a ridiculous amount of volume in it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take melatonin tonight because this is 2 nights in a row that I've had less than 6.5 hours of sleep, and I really don't. I usually like to be at around the 8 to 9 hour mark. So when I'm this low, I definitely feel it. Like I'm still doing well in the lifts and I'm performing as I would want and progressing. But the way that I feel, it almost feels like my eyes are fried. Like your body feels like it has enough energy, but your eyes are they're just drained. So I'll probably try to take melatonin tonight and reset my sleep schedule. I don't like to take it that much just because I get really vivid like melatonin dreams, which are super weird. But yeah, I might have to do it anyways tonight because I need to get back to bed at a decent time. I need to be careful about when I'm taking pre because I think that's the biggest thing that's influencing my sleep issues right now. So we'll do that. One thing I will say is everybody takes melatonin right before bed and they'll usually take a full pill. First of all, the pills that they sell in like the bottles at the drugstore that are like 5 or 10 milligrams, not only is that more than you need to get the effects, it'll actually have a negative effect on your sleep because that's what leads to the grogginess. So if you get those, break it up into smaller bits, like 1 or 2 milligrams, and don't take it right before bed. Try to take it 2 to 4 hours before bed, and then put yourself in a relaxing state after that. Stop looking at screens, stop doing like activity stuff, and that will give you a much more natural reset of your sleep schedule rather than like a super hard and then you wake up groggy the next day and your sleep schedule's reset but still just doesn't feel right. It's a lot gentler and more natural process if you use a smaller dose and go further before bedtime. So I'm just saying gibberish at this point. I mean, it's not gibberish. These were good tips, but I gotta do this set. Oh, one thing to think about on these. A lot of people, when you're doing chest supported rows, will use both momentum and they'll almost cue like they're coming back and they're getting a lot of erectors in, which, yeah, of course, you want to train erectors, but ideally, if you want to grow them, like you'll do some specific work for them. So what I try to think about on these is when I'm rowing, I almost think about I want to keep my chin forward, like I want to peek through the window that I make with my arm. So I'm gonna come here, and I'm coming through, and I'm peeking through, almost like I'm pulling it to me. So just a small tip that you can try to tweak on your row. Okay, last time was 2 RAR. I'll say that this one was 3. Two. That one was 1. The form definitely would have gone to poop after that. I don't think I'm gonna record the face pose just because it's just like some high rep stuff again. It's gonna take up the SD card for no reason. So I guess I will just film in the posing room after this. All right, we'll do a quick little pump check, and then I also need to test out a few variations of my back double pose because I feel like sometimes I hit it properly and sometimes I don't. So let's check it out. One thing that kind of sucks about not training upper body, like I used to train upper body as a whole together, and so you get like a whole body pump, and I still feel like I do get somewhat of a pump overall, but it's definitely not as much as when you just train everything in your upper body. So decent leanness is being maintained now that we're out of the deficit. Still, for the most part, I was a touch leaner at the peak of the cut, but I'm happy with the current position. We'll check out the back now. All right, do a lat spread. This one's usually pretty good for me. Sometimes I have like an imbalance. One side will open up more than the other. I gotta figure out what is causing that. Okay. Now we'll try out some back doubles. So mostly I'm just gonna try to play around with like the elbows, whether I'm like rotating or not. So we'll see. When I'm actually hitting it on stage, I have to be like I can't have my legs like this because you got to show the hamstring and the calf. So it's a little bit wider, and then I'm coming up. So this is elbows forward and fists back. This is both of them back and then open and then forward and back. From here to there. Gonna have to review that back and see how it looks because I can't see anything. But pretty good session overall today. I'm happy where we are, and I'm excited to continue to grow this year. So hopefully I'll upload this tomorrow, which is gonna be Sunday, which is Easter. So I hope everybody has a good Easter with their family and stuff. I'll probably go to church in the morning and then come back. But yeah, good session. Hopefully good video. But we'll see. Hopefully somebody took something away from this. And yeah. All right. See you guys next time.